Good morning. Welcome to I Care, I Move. This is Move More Reimagined, and we are on week 7. I'm Pat Taylor, and we're going to guide you through a series of movements today to help to stop you falling, make you stronger, and improve your balance. Now, I already know some of you aren't feeling great today for whatever, lots of different reasons. So, as always, do what you can do. Feel free to sit and rest and even just watch in those areas that you're struggling with. If it's a struggle and you think, oh, I might try that, carry on. If you're getting pain or if it's not quite right, just stand, sit, pump your heels. And if you need any inhalers or you've got any sprays, please make sure you've got them with you and have a band. And that's enough for that. So first of all, we're going to come forwards on our chairs to the front of our chair. And we do that by taking our feet wide, swaying from one side to another and lifting your bottom forwards and then lifting the other side. So you come into the front third of the chair, and then we're going to go back. We're going to do exactly the same, but in reverse. You don't need to be fast here. We're just kind of working through muscles, joints of your body, and we're coming into our warm up. So what does that mean? Warming up joints, muscles that might be a bit stiff. And it's not just from kind of lying in bed all night. Sometimes you might need to do this if you've been sitting in a car for a while, or sitting still at a desk, or just in an awkward position. So next time, come to the front third of your chair, feet wider than hips, and a little bit further forwards to give you that base of support, lift through the belly. So we're going to look at posture. And it's really easy to sit in a slouched position, but it's not any good for your posture. So we rise, so we lift up through the belly, up through the chest, open out through the collarbones, roll the shoulders back and down, eye gaze forwards, and just tuck your chin in a little bit for a long neck, long spine. And then we're going to start pumping the heels. So one at a time, lifting one heel and then the other. Now try and think about rolling through the feet as well. So we've got to work through feet. Our feet are really important for us. They're the base of our support, and if our feet are uncomfortable, painful, or weak, then we need to work on improving them. So rolling through these feet, and then we're going to take our feet a little bit wider. So walk them wider, hands down by your sides, and lean to one side. Use the muscles in your belly to pull you up and hold it there. And then we're going to lean to the other side. How does it feel? Might feel fine. Keep your bottom on the chair. So try not to let one side lift. Try and keep that base on the chair. And we're leaning directly to the side, not to the front or back. So we're stretching, working, warming through the ribs and the waist. Keep your feet planted firmly on the floor. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. Ah, lovely. And you won't go very far, and that's fine. Try and keep your head in line so you're not kind of putting it into an awkward position. Okay, back to your heel lift. We're going to add in a small arm movement, opposite arm to knee if you can. And we're swinging these arms just to get the blood circulating around your fingers, your arms. Lovely. How do you feel today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling positive? A bit tired? A bit dreary because of the weather? You'll have a lovely time anyway for the next hour. So, okay, hold it there. Let's take the hands down by your sides, and we're going to lift those shoulders up to the ears. Ooh, and then drop them smoothly and go again. Lift up to the ears and drop them down. Press them down. That feels quite nice. If it feels uncomfortable, make the movement smaller to start with. Lift up, down, down. Lovely. Keep it going. We need to do this because later on we're going to be using shoulders, moving arms, etc. And we need to have moved them. Otherwise, we'll be stiff and then sore, and you won't get a good range of movement from your shoulders. Okay, back to the march. This time, slightly bigger arms. So you can see that I'm not kind of whizzing along. I'm just thinking about the movement in my shoulder, side on, my hand comes back, and then right up to my ear. So thinking shoulder, range of movement. It's not that. That's not moving your shoulder. Think shoulder. Ooh, I'm on the wrong leg to arm. And I can hear my hand brushing my thigh. So that's where your arms should be. Okay, hands down again. Let's come to our shoulder circle. So lifting up towards your ears, all the way back and down. And you might say this is the same every week. Yeah, we've got the same joints and muscles every week. So we have to run through this series of movements to make sure the whole of your body is moved and mobilized. And if you wanted to do it in standing up, you could. So you would stand up and come to the back of the chair. So you've got that support. And naturally, week 7, a lot of you could be standing. So, oh, can you feel that? Especially when you go around, back and down. Oh, and it gives your neck a little bit of a stretch, a bit of a movement as well. Not really, but you know what I mean. Okay, back to the march. And you should start to feel a little bit warmer. Hopefully not puffed out though. Excellent. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to do our little trunk rotation. So hands on the thighs, one hand slides down, the other hand slides up towards the hip, and you're going to look over your shoulder or towards that direction. You can start really small if it's uncomfortable. Keep your knees still, so don't kind of twist. Keep those knees still and you get really lovely movement through the waist and the trunk. And then when you're a bit comfortable, a bit more comfortable with that movement, maybe try and pull that arm, that elbow backwards a little bit. Now keep going. If you are standing up, then it's this movement soft through the knees and a little, just a turn, hips face forwards. So we're not kind of twisting the whole body. It's just a look over, look over, look over. Fabulous. Back to your march, please. Oh, I didn't say have some water by you as well. Sometimes you get dry throat, dry mouth doing all these exercises. Excellent. Now we're going to go to foot camera and we're going to go to our lovely ankle mobilization. So heel goes on one spot and then we lift the knee and the toe goes on that spot. So you lift and we're looking at ankle movement mostly, but it will move your hip, but we're thinking ankle. So if you don't like to do this, you can bring the toes up, point them down, and you can give them a little circle, but this movement is really lovely. If you're in standing, it's exactly the same. Just soften that standing leg. Lovely. So, and we need this for our lunges later on, or stepping in different directions. And then we're going to swap sides. And you might have one side that is a lot stiffer or more uncomfortable than the other, even painful. Start small.
Do you need to be in the front third of their chair for this, Pat?
Yes, you do need to be in the front third. Otherwise, you're not going to, if you're in the back of your chair, you can do it, but it's a bit more, you can't kind of get that full range of movement. So heel, toe. So if you're not in the front third, come to the front third. Lovely. And you might feel it in your hip as well, because we're lifting through the hip to be able to lift the ankle and move it. Okay, back to your march, and we'll come to full screen. And we're going to really work these shoulders. So take them right up and right back. Don't worry too much about the feet. Excellent. You should be a lot warmer now. And then just one more. Feet wide, forwards, a little bit of a hip circle, taking your chest forwards and all the way to the side and to the back. Keep going in standing, soften the knees, hips to one side and forwards. You can go in a whole circle if you want, but actually we're trying to work the lower back. So make sure you go in the opposite direction if you're sitting. And can you get a little bit further back in the chair maybe, or using those core muscles? And reverse again. Try and keep your neck in neutral, so don't kind of strain to look upwards. Lovely. And then we're going to come up to standing. So that's your warm-up done. We're going to come into our endurance. So this part might make you out of breath. That's fine. You need to control it. So if you're too out of breath, you need to make the movement smaller or slower. We don't need to go fast. We're working the big muscles here. So coming up to stand, feet behind your knees, lean forwards, look up to the ceiling as you come up, pump your heels at the top. We're going to walk behind your chair or whatever you're going to have to support you. And we're going to just march. So just a heel march for now. You can swing. So if you're holding on, you could just hold on and use your knees, lift, march your feet. Lifting your knees a bit more, you could stand to the diagonal. You could go one hand, fingers, hover. Or if you're really confident in this, then you can have no support. So let's work through this march. What are your feet doing? Are you flat-footed? You hear your feet coming back on the floor if you're flat-footed. Peel them up and roll them down. Okay, and that helps you to pick your feet up when you're walking. We know that if we don't pick our toes up, that's when you shuffle, and that's when you trip over your own feet. Have you ever done that? Or maybe going up the stairs, we kind of catch your toes. It's like you fall over nothing, but sometimes it's because we're not picking our feet up. So less knees, let's go big arms. So you don't need to lift your legs up so high, just big arms. So swinging those arms, remember, elbow comes back, hands to hips and ears. Keep breathing. Remember your energy levels, how much you could speak to me if I said, Beryl, how are you feeling? Are you okay? You could go, yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay still. That's fine. If you're like, oh, I'm a bit too puffed out, you need to take it down a bit. Sometimes that's just taking the arms out. Adding in arms will make your heart work harder. Anything over heart height, if that makes sense, will make your heart work harder. Okay, into a step together. Just one single step together behind your chair or by your method of support. So you worked up, step together. If you're confident, you could step a bit wider, but you don't have to. If you're sitting, tap. If you're sitting, it's tap, tap. And if you're sitting, remember, it's tough on your hips, especially the fronts of your hips, because it's a lot of lifting your knees higher than we are in standing. Okay, so we're doing this, we're raising the heartbeat. We're going to kind of improve your heart health by working the muscles in your heart. Okay, we're going to add arms. So you can add one arm, a little bicep curl. So you can pretend you've got a weight in there and you're squeezing it. You could add one and then the other if you're holding on, or you could do both alternately. Bit of brain gym, both together. And I know one of our lovely gents likes to do a little arm, a lateral raise, it's called. So lifting your arms to the side and up a little bit, whatever you fancy. You could even do a little disco roll here or a little Saturday Night Fever. I could even sing to you. See, we've got all the moves. You don't have to. You can hold on. Okay, into your heel lift. So we've taken it up, we come down a little bit. You breathe, recover, but we still march. We don't stop because your blood pressure, your blood will pool into your feet, and that's when you feel a bit dizzy. Breathe, recover. Think how you feel. Write it down or note it for later. When we look at 0 to 10, 0 is you've got all the energy in the world. 10 is, oh, I can't do anymore. I need to go to bed. We need you about 5 or 6. So comfortable, but feeling like you're working out. Okay, we started doing this last week. Just watch first. Keep marching. It's a step wide and a little stick your bottom out. I'll show you from the side. So it's a wide squat, wide knee bend, together, step wide, together. Now I'm pressing on my legs just because I've got nothing in front of me. I don't have to. If you were doing it behind a chair, you could hold on to the chair to support you. Keep going. In seated, you could either step wide, come to a bunny hop, or you could step one. No, what can you do? Just step wide and then lean forwards. Pushing the weight through your feet and your thighs, squeezing your bottom, squeezing your thighs. It's the same kind of movement. You don't get the balance side of it, but we're not in balance at the moment. We're in endurance. So working those big muscles. So you're working your thighs, your glutes and your bottom, pulling the muscles in your belly to support you. Core, keep that lovely spine, neutral spine. Try not to look down. You don't need to see where your feet are going. Try and look about 45 degrees in front of you. So remember I said keep that neck neutral. So your eye gaze comes down with you and comes back up. Okay, back to just your heel lift. How's that feel? Are we okay? That's kind of quite a, it's not a small movement, it's an intense movement. And if you only manage 2 or 3, that's fine. With any of these movements, if you can only do a few, that's okay. And what happens is over the week, we'll add them in and you might find you can do a bit more. And if you can't, that's fine as well. Marching your heels just gives you time to recover. Remember, heart rate went right up. Now it's coming back down, ready for the next thing, which is our lovely lunges. So I'm starting away from my chair so that when I step, I can press on my chair or use the power in my legs to press back. Other side. Same in seated. You're going to step forwards, lean. If you want to start small, start small. If you're quite confident, heel, whole of foot, drive from the ball of the foot through to the heel and a big press off. Keep going. You don't need to do it fast. Remember, we're using the big muscles here. In seated, you could be in that staggered stance. I think this is really comfortable to do a lunge, but see how you go here. It's a little bunny hop, or you could try it forwards. I just think it's more of a sit to stand here than a lunge. So if you're in a staggered with 1 foot behind you, then it's more of a lunge. Lovely. Right, heel pump. Get your breath. How are we doing? 51. Okay. Just the heel lift. If we're tired and you want to sit down, pump your heels, pump your feet. You must keep pumping your feet unless you're feeling really ill, and then you must let us know in some way, wave your arms or put it in the chat. Okay. Last big move. Feet wider than your hips, toes are pointed out a little bit. Stick your bottom out, knees bend forwards and rise. Knee bend, knees bend. Push your hips back. Squeeze the eyes bottom to the top. So it's like a hinge. So knees forward, hips back, And even if you just go a little bit, that's fine. You don't need to go low at all. Why do we do this? This is what gets you down on a chair, toilet, car seat, gets you out of it. It's not, so eye gaze. So my eye gaze, I'm looking here, 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 and up. I'm not bending forwards and I'm not leaning back. That's horrible on your knees. So, and adjust, you try it in different positions. So for me, toes out a little bit is fine. Toes facing forwards is okay, but I can feel it on the inside of my knees. If that's too uncomfortable, just bring your feet in a little bit. For me, that's brilliant. I could go right down. We've all got different skeletons, so what works for one might not work for the other. We've just got to keep getting you in and out of chairs, on and off the loo. In seated, it's your little bunny hop again. Lots of bunny hops. Remember what I said to you in seated? If I'm asking you to lift your legs, it's a big movement. So you've done a lot of squats and bunny hops. So if you're sitting, feel free to just have a rest. Pump your heel. Right, hold it there. Heel pump. So that is probably where you're going to be the highest level. So you're probably at a 6, 7, hopefully not 8, 9, 10. So we manage it throughout that whole endurance, the healthy heart section. Okay, and we, as not carefully, we come up, up, up. We need to come down, down, down. So we're going to do a double step if you can, or just a single. So step together, step together, step together. If you need the support of your chair, make them smaller. Breathe, get that lovely oxygen in your bodies. I've got a tree in my way again. 1 and 2, together. If you're sitting, tap, 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 tap. Same principle. If you're sitting, you might want to backrest. You might want to lean in the back of the chair and just lift your knees up. Your hips might be squeaking at you. So we're still moving, but we're not in huge movements, giving your heart a chance to recover. You might feel you're breathing a bit easier. You're not so puffed out. Okay, back to the heel pump. Check your levels. Where would you be if I said 0 to 10? Lovely. Okay, we're going to just do a single step. Knees are not high. We're just stepping together. Squeaky floor. Sliding your hands across your support if you need it. You can just do a heel march if you're in seated for now. And then back to your heels. Recover. Take your feet wide. Our lovely wide base sway coming up. Oh my word. You probably can't hear the squeaks. Oh, you look lovely, all swaying. Sway, sway, da, da, da. Lovely. One hand, just one hand one side, other hand the other side. Are you warm? I'm quite warm now. It's a good way if you're a bit chilly to just not have to put the heating on. Do a little bit of exercise. There you go. See, we save you money as well. Reduce your energy bills. Okay, no arms. Just that lovely sway. Point your toes. Point your toes on the opposite side that you're swaying from. Oh, breathe. Ta-da. Little heel lift. And we're going into balance. So grab a drink, because I'm dry. So just grab yourself a drink. And I hope you do drink throughout the day. I hope you don't stop drinking after lunchtime, because of the nighttime trips to the loo. You must drink, and even if you drink a little bit every hour, brilliant. You do not want to be dehydrated. Are we okay? Are we all right? If you still need a bit of time to recover, feel free to just stand and pump your heels, or sit and pump your heels. Sit and have a rest once you feel okay. It's fine. You do what you need to do. Okay, so moving on to balance. Ooh, I love balance. And it's something we have to work on. It's something we need to work on. So we're going to do a single leg stand. Haven't done it for a week or two, maybe 1 week at least. Single leg stand, flamingo stand, and then we're going to progress it to the flamingo swing. So I'm stepping away from my chair a little bit. So I've got that support that I could lean on my chair if I needed to. I'm working my outside leg so that if I'm wobbly, I can use that leg to step, to balance forwards, back, side, like we practiced last week. So my toes in my supporting foot are spread out in my shoe. I'm putting the weight through my big toe, second toe. Lots of options. We're going to take that foot back. First of all, I'm going to think posture. So I don't want to be slouched. Great posture. So look at the difference here. If I lift my leg up here, I'm going to be so wobbly. I've got nothing to support my body in this movement. Whereas if I'm standing up, I've engaged across my belly, diaphragm area, my shoulders are back and down, and tuck my bottom under, toes are spread out, eye gaze is forward. You don't need to be looking anywhere. Knees are level. This is fine if you want to just stand here. Otherwise, we're going to lift that heel, relax the toes, and stand. If you're doing it at home on your own, in your own time, you could time it. It's okay to wobble when you're ready to come out. So we're going to step wide, compensatory step. It compensates for your wobble. You step wide to be safe, to come into a safe position. Have a rest. Not completely. I'm just going to show you in seated. So if you're standing, just wiggle your hips. So in seated, you can lift that leg if you want to. You need to be away from the back of the chair, otherwise you don't get that feeling of imbalance. You could pop one foot on the other, or you could take the foot back a little bit. See what feels better for you. But you need to feel a little bit challenged, but not unsafe. Okay. How did that feel? Feeling my hip a little bit. So this time, exactly the same. I'll do it front on. You can count this time if you like. So you can hold on. Remember, you could have two hands and hold on. It could be between two sets of support. Slide that foot back. Now my hip started to push out that, so I'm going to really bring it in. Soften the knee. No stiff knees. Eye gaze forwards. All of those coaching points. Soft knee, weight through your big toe, tuck your bottom under. Lift. Breathe. In and out. Use your arms to help you balance if you need to. Ooh, twingy. It's good to recover from a wobble. What are you going to do when you come out of that wobble? Or if you're ready, if you're a bit achy, step wide. And then you're ready to go in any direction with either foot, okay? We get used to that. We'll come back to that leg in a minute. Other side. So bearing in mind, you might have something going on with your other foot, knee, hip, whatever, pelvis. It might feel slightly different. So same principles apply. Stand away from your chair or your support. Plant that foot firmly on the floor. Toes spread out, weight through your big toe, second toe. Foot comes back, knees are level. Tuck your bottom under, relax your shoulders, no tension here. And lift that heel. Eye gaze forwards, try and focus on a spot. Don't look at me, because once I start wobbling, then you'll wobble. Use your arms to balance. Oh, and I broke my toe this year, and I can feel that. So lots of different things, hips, toes, knees. When you're ready, step out, wiggle, Ooh. So lots of things affect our balance: toes, ankles, joints, muscles. Some people can't feel their feet, toes, fingers, and that has an impact. Some people, yeah, have lots of circulation problems, so that affects balance as well. Okay, we're going to go same on that side. How does that side feel compared to the other side? Okay, toes spread, weight through your big toe, second toe, bottom under, core braced, relax shoulders, eye gaze forwards, lift that heel, relax the toes. Relax the toes. It's okay to wobble. It's fine. That's how we regain our balance from that wobble. It's your brain saying, what are you doing? What's your body doing? Proprioception, step out when you're ready. Lovely. How did it go that side? And we don't measure this, but it's good for you to measure it, actually. So we're going to do other side now, back to the first side. We're going to do flamingo swing. So same position. You can watch if you need to first. So I'm going to bring my foot back, and then I'm going to lift my knee forwards and swing the leg back. Now, the only thing moving is my leg and my bottom. I'm squeezing my bottom. I'm not twisting. My leg goes forwards and it restricts it at the back, but that's fine. Knee comes right in front and you kind of scrape your foot, and you don't have to go as fast as I was. Scrape your foot along the floor. Hold on. You can let go, but I would suggest you hold on. And step wide. Okay, so lots of straight legs there. No straight legs. That's not it. So you need to, so let me teach again. So we start in, so just watch first. We start in the bend with a bent knee. Knee's about 90. You keep that 90-degree flex in that knee. And then the movement is from the hip. Okay, so that knee stays bent. So off you go again. One more time. That's knees coming up and back. Ooh. When you're ready, step wide and land. Much better, Nick said. Well done. Other side again. So your hips might be getting tired, your ankles. We're kind of doing single leg standing doubly this time, but one in a stand and one in a swing. Nearly said fling. Flamingo, fling. Okay. So same principles. Have your support. Slide your foot back, that bend in the knee. Eye gaze forwards. Relax your shoulders. Lift the heel. Keep that bend. Swing. Swing. Keep going in standing. I forgot to tell you. Seated. You might need to sit to the diagonal. It's difficult. It's a little bit of it's quite difficult in seated. It might be you just bring your foot back and up. It's quite awkward. So you might just want to have a little rest. Or try it when you do come to a stand. Just come into the flamingo. Hold there. Ready? Done? Good, good work. It's a really good exercise to practice when you're standing in the kitchen, waiting for your eggs to boil, waiting for your potatoes or whatever you've got in the microwave. Remember, flamingo fling. Okay. Moving on to tandem. And I know we're repeating, but repeating gets results. So let's go to the other side first. I know it's a lot of moving around, but we have to move in life, yeah? We have to move around. So I'm going to start at the back of my chair because I'm going to take one foot slightly in front, weight goes on that foot, and my other foot goes directly in front. Now, you can have options. So you can take your feet quite close together. So you've got the instep against the joint of your toes. Or you could just be in a narrower stand if you're quite wobbly. But if you can come into tandem, that's great. I'll show you from the side. It's the same in seated. Take one foot in front of the other or rest it on top of the foot. Now, my weight's on my back foot. My weight's on my front foot. We're going to go center. And this is where we wobble. And if you wobble, what are you going to do to come out of it? You're going to step wide into your compensatory step. Let's go again. So if that feels too scary, just go a bit wider. If you can do it in front, brilliant. Weight central. If you can bend your knees slightly, even better. Stiff legs, you have no control. Bend your knees. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Come out of it when you need to. Lovely. We're going to change sides. So you can move around or move your chair. I better do as I'm told. Be a role model for you. Okay, so other side, and it might feel different on one side because we might have tightness in some of the muscles around the hip, the bottom, the front of the hip, the legs, etc., the back, lower back. You might feel it. So do what feels comfortable for you, but still challenging yourself. So one foot goes in front of the other. Remember, weight back, weight forwards, weight in the center. Ooh, bend your knees. Bend your knees and just hold. Eye gaze forwards. What can you do to improve that? Can you pull your belly in a bit? Can you breathe? Relax your shoulders. Is your weight in the center? We're going to come out by stepping wide, our compensatory step. Lovely. One more time on that side. Same in seated. Have a go. Front foot directly in front, or those little adaptations anywhere that makes you slightly more unbalanced. Weight in the center. Lovely. And when you're ready, you might be fine standing there for a bit longer. Try it when in your own time, see how you get on. Notice that improvement, write it down. It's really good. It's a really good indicator of how balanced you are, and how much you're improving. Getting better. Okay, let's go. Oh, let's go into strength. Oh, I like doing balance. I think I get carried away. Okay, grab your bands. I'm gonna sit down. Sit down properly. Oh, I was going to do lots of sit to stands with you. Phew, they say. Oh, there's still time. So sit to stand is, in theory, it's recorded as a balance exercise, but sit to stand, I think, is a lot of strength. If you haven't got strong muscles in your legs, you're not going to be able to stand up, are you? It is balance, but actually it's confidence and that practice of being able to press through your feet, your thighs, your bottom. Let's do that first, and then we'll have it's not a rest. Come to the front third of your chair. And then I want you to take your feet forwards, really far forwards, and try and stand up. You can't, can you? Look. Even if I try really hard, I can't. You're not using any muscles in your legs to get you up. You're just using momentum, and it doesn't work. Take your feet under your knees and then try. I can do it, but feel where your weight is. Your weight is back, isn't it? Your weight sits back. Now take your feet back, tuck them right back. Lean forwards and then press. How much easier is that? And sit down. How much easier is that from there? Oh, well done. Was that Sylvia pumping her heels? Or Beryl? Oh, well done. I just saw that little movement. You little stars. So the difference between your feet forwards and taking your feet back. So let me show you from the side. So here, I can't get up. Can't do it. Here, I can, but my weight's back because it's really hard to get your weight forward. Here, and I know it might feel a bit odd in your knees, but press down through those feet. Lean forwards, look up, 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 up. Stand and pump your heels. Feel the difference. Can you feel that difference? Pump your heels, walk back, feel the chair. If you're sitting, try that bunny hop in different positions. Now, if you've got a bad knee or if you've got something that hurts, sometimes a staggered sit to stand can help you. Like I said earlier, you've got 1 foot back, 1 foot forwards, and you're still pressing up. Just takes the pressure off one side. You need to bring your feet in to pump. And then we sit down and you should be in the back of the chair. So what do we have to do? Hip walk forwards. Let's just do one more time. So feet back. I was going to do something else with you and I've forgotten. Feet back. Oh, I know what it is. And this is a really good tip or something you can work on. So just watch first. I'm not going to stand, but I'm going to lean. And I'm wiggling my feet back a bit more. I'm going to lean, lean, lean. I'm pressing the weight in my feet. My thighs are squeezing. And then I'm going to press up. And that's the position we want you to be in here before you stand. Okay. So you can actually practice that before you stand. And that is the bunny hop, but it's a bit further than the bunny hop. Okay. So let's stand up one more time. Pump your heels. Have a sit down. Take your knees to the back of the chair. Sit down. Lovely. Grab your bands. Okay. Now, I'm going to do triceps. I love triceps. I don't know, little muscles at the back, not little, back of the arms. They're the ones you need to, if you're in bed, press yourself back and move your body backwards. So we're going to put the band under both the feet and put your feet on the band securely so it's not going to ping out. I'm just going to hold the band with my other hand. Dangle that arm by your side. And then just pass the band and hold the band with your hand in the natural position, your little fingers pointing to the back of the room. And I'm just literally holding the band down by my side. I'm going to lift my elbow behind me. So my hand is at my hip, but my elbow is tucked backwards. It's not sticking out to the side. I'll show you front on in a minute. And the only movement I want you to do is straighten that arm and bring it back in. Straighten it, bring it back in. So if you were looking from the front, ooh, it's here. You could try it without the band. It's here and in. So it's not your arm. You've not got a chicken wing, okay? It's elbow back, straighten that arm, and that's where you feel the tension and bring it back in slowly. Take it back, relax that shoulder down and bring it back in. Now, this band is really hard. I know I keep going on about it. It's really hard. So it's difficult to get a good tension on the way out. And then you could do it with a tin or a bottle of water or anything that just adds a bit of weight, or without, just squeezing that hand and having your own resistance. So as if you're like really gripping something hard and bringing it back in. Relax and roll that shoulder. And you can do this if you're out shopping by lifting your elbows back and you're working your triceps in a static position. We're going to swap sides. So arm strength is so important. To be able to do your activities of daily living, so your gardening, your hoovering, cooking. And also it's good to keep that arm backwards, using your shoulder to keep it back. So band down by your side, hold the band, drop the band down. Slide that elbow up behind you, and then we're going to straighten that arm, bring it back in. Straighten, so that elbow is like stays behind you the whole time. And it might feel quite difficult, quite awkward. If it is, get rid of the band, practice that movement. Squeeze the hands, the fingers, You can squeeze that muscle behind you, that tricep muscle, back of the arm. Relax the shoulder. Lovely. Good. And relax. Roll the shoulders out. Roll out. And then I'm going to face you again. We're going to swing your band behind your back, tuck it under your arms, and then hold. So it's kind of chest height. And you're going to hold the band right in by your ribs and then drop your elbows. And then your thumbs are like pointing upwards. Wrists are neutral. And you can try it once and then adjust the tension. And we're just going to send one arm forwards, bring it back. Send the other arm forwards, bring it back. Are your feet wide? Bring it forwards. If you haven't got a band, same. You could just add a little weight. Back. Press it forwards. Press it forwards. Okay, give it a try. Can you do both? Press, press, slowly back. You might not be able to. Press, press, and you might not be able to go very far. Bring it back. So your elbows are bent, your hands press forwards, your arms straighten off, and your elbows come down as you finish that movement. Let's do one more. And bring it back in. Lovely. Wrist strength. Fold your band. Fold it again. Fold it again. Fold it again. So it's a little squidged up. If you haven't got a band, you could use a towel, anything. Hold the bottom of the band with one hand. Hold the other band. Hold the other hand onto the top of the band. Then you're going to press your hands away to me. Squeeze the band. Bring the hands back to the chest and adjust. So I go tight, press away. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze again. Keep going. Excuse me. Let me come to the front and show you. So it looks like this. Squeeze in, press away. Now, what I want you to do when you're pressing away is send the wrist that way, press. And if you've got arthritis in your wrist, I'm sorry, just don't do it so big. Don't do such a big movement. Squeeze. Mine's quite tight there. So press away, pull in. Press away, pull in. Lovely. And then we're going to put the bottom hand on the top and the top hand on the bottom. Squeeze in, press away, pull in, press away and squeeze the band. Press those wrists. So finger strength as well as wrist strength. Lovely. Press away, pull in, press away. So it doesn't all have to be legs and arms and all sorts. Fingers, wrist strength. Why do we need wrist strength? When we're lunging onto the chair. Hands down and rest. Get rid of your bands. Are we okay? Okay, a little bit of Tai Chi. Then a stretch. Then a bit of relaxation, then you're done. So I'm going to stand for Tai Chi. You can sit, nice wide feet, staggered feet. I'm going to stand and I'm going to move my chair so you can see what I'm doing. Please have your chair there if you need it to support you. Okay. So take your time to just come up to standing, wide feet. Tai Chi is so good for balance, coordination, relaxing. We don't want you to relax too much yet. So take your feet wide and we're just going from one side to the other. And then we're going to take 1 foot forwards. And we're just floating, hands forwards and back. So brushing forwards, pulling back. pushing forwards, pulling back. So it's to a diagonal. Push forwards, pull back, push forwards, pull back. Same in seated. Push, pull. Bring that foot back in. Other foot comes forwards. This time we're going to press and pull. Press, slightly different. It's similar, but slightly different. So fingers point up, fingers point down. If you need to sit, you can sit and do it. Okay, that foot comes back. Toes point out, fingertips together. Pull up towards your chest, press down. And you can match your breath to those movements, but you don't have to. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay, that foot steps forwards again into our row. So hands just press over the knee and come back to the waist. I'm not going to overcomplicate your toes, but step in, pressing over that toe that's turned out. And if you can soften that back knee, even better. Opposite direction, so under, pull back. Adjust that back foot so you can actually put your weight on that back leg. Inside. Okay, this foot comes back, other foot steps away. So if you can tuck that heel in, so you've got like a T, great. If not, go with it. Same movement into that row. Slowly, and you can see that as I come back, my knee's bent. I'll show you from the side. That's quite a big movement, it's quite a strong movement onto that back foot. I'm not overreaching with my hands. And then we're going under, back to the waist. Lovely. Step wide. Excellent. Let's sit down. Do a stretch. Come into your chairs properly. Feel the chair. Stick your bottom out. Sit down. And then just come to the front third of your chair again. You need to be in the front chair, at the front of your chair, to stretch your legs out. So let's take that leg forward. So one leg is straight. Other leg, just wiggle the foot forwards and out a little bit. Hands on the thigh. Toes up to the ceiling. Lean forwards with a lovely long spine, so we don't collapse. Not yet. Just breathe, and you should feel a stretch at the back of the thigh, the back of the knee. If you can't, you can take a breath in and just lean further into it as you breathe out. Or stay higher up if you already feel a stretch. Keep that heel there, press up, relax the toes, and then squeeze the toes up for a lovely calf stretch. And then we're just going to point the toes. Lovely. Other side. Straight leg, toes towards the ceiling, lean forward, so a hinge from the hips. I'll show you from the side. So it's here. So I'm hinging forwards, still thinking about posture. I'm not here because I don't stretch. I'm just stretching my back. I'm not stretching my leg. And you can feel the difference by collapsing and then lifting. Ooh. And again, I just went like that. Don't do that. So eye gaze, neutral eye gaze. Keep the heel there, relax off, and then toes up towards the knee, stretching that calf, and point the toes. And then let's stretch out the triceps. So this is, we've just worked those, doing those lovely arm bends, arm across, Support the arm and pull it in towards the body. Breathe. And then hand to the shoulder. Walk the fingers down towards the middle of the shoulder blades. Give it a nudge if you need to, and then lift up through the chest, which then gives it a bigger stretch. Feet wide. Hand up if you can. If not, stay there. Hand over your head. And lean, come out of that stretch. Lovely. Other side. Hand to shoulder. Bring that arm in a bit closer. Lovely. Breathe. Smile. Hand to shoulder. Wiggle, jiggle. Where do your fingers reach? Are they in the center of your shoulder blades? Top? Back of neck? Front of shoulder? Write it down. And then hand comes up and over your head, which is why we should have nice wide feet, and lean forwards and out of that stretch. Lovely. Hands come to the back of the chair or to your lower back. And then we're aiming to get the elbows towards each other for a chest stretch. Excellent. Chin down to chest. Back to neutral. Just lift the chin slightly. Neutral to the side. Oh, lovely. Center, side, center. Go in the chair. Literally 1 minute of relaxation. You worked so hard. Close your eyes. Just breathe. Take a long breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relax fully into the back of your chair, but feel yourself grounded to the floor. So your feet are steady, planted on the floor. Notice your feet, your toes, your ankles. How do they feel? Your calf muscles, your knees, thighs, bottom, belly and lower back, shoulder blades, chest muscles, tops of arms, down to the wrists and the fingers, around the neck, jaw, face, around the scalp. Whole body scan. How do you feel? Do you feel warm? Maybe your fingers feel a bit fizzy from gripping. Maybe you feel tired, or maybe you feel energized. Just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then we're going to come up to a seated position. We're going to hip walk away from the back of the chair. We're going to roll our shoulders. I'm going to put our hands together and give ourselves a big round of applause. Well done. Thanks for joining us. That was week 7. Please let us know how you got on. Send us any questions or any points that you've got to make or anything we can do to help you. We'll be back next week, and thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a great week. Bye for now.